Today we're going to talk about downloading Design Space, the features that Design Space has, how to upload a project, ungroup, and save. Hi everyone, so I'm going to show you how you get started with Cricut Design Space. So we're going to log into Cricut.com. It's going to come up here and it's going to have over here Design. So when you click on that, then Cricut Design Space for Windows opens up. You're going to go ahead and download the project. And then in the downloads folder, you're going to double click the file name Cricut Design Space Install Me. So it's going to install the latest version. I keep all mine in my downloads. So I'm just going to go ahead and save it there. And you'll see it's working its magic here. You can also do open when done, and it should open up on your computer. It's still working, so it's installing now. Going to open up and show you what version it is. It's going to always be checking for new updates. I will tell you that in some of the older videos when you see people working in Design Space, things change because of these updates. So just keep that in mind. The basic principles stay the same, but some of the functionality, and they add things and stuff, so it may not be exactly the same, but I think you can still get the idea. See, the version skipped. I had a lower version and now there's a higher version now. So it's going to open up to this new project screen. It's going to show you all the ones that you've just recently worked on or saved. And you're just going to add a new project. Okay, so here you have your blank canvas, and this is where you'll be designing your things on, or you'll upload a project or a SVG that you've gotten from somebody else. So we'll start at the top. You can add a new window or quit your design space. You can reload or force a reload. Sometimes when your design space is being wonky, you want to force a new reload. That's fine. You can get help here as well. These little hamburger bars that they call them will show you that you're on the canvas. You can go back home, which will take you back to where we were just at. You can do your new machine setup, your calibration. So if things get wonky with your machine, you can calibrate your machine if it's plugged in. You can manage your custom materials, so you'll see that there's materials to check when you're doing your make it on the actual mats, and then you'll select this, and we'll learn these as we go along. You can update your firmware. You'll get your account details here. You'll link cartridges if you have the older versions of the Cricut machines. Cricut Access is where you can find designs that are available to you if you've joined, and there's also free ones for those of you that have not joined. There's a settings, and then your legal, your new features, what country you're in, help, and then a sign out. This is where you're going to start a new project. When you click that, it's just going to bring up this same screen that we're looking at here. This screen right here has an untitled project at this point. You can go search your projects, or you can explore. Templates has designs pre-made for you. Let me clarify, not designs, but like if you were going to make a t-shirt, you would select a t-shirt and you will see that it'll bring in a mock-up of a t-shirt. So when you're designing, you'll know exactly where you want to place your design or how big it needs to be. And so it's just a template. Over here, it shows you that you're working with a template. And if you select any eyeball on this screen over here, you'll see them as you begin to load projects. You can hide them or unhide them. Okay, while I'm on this screen, I want to show you that you have the ability to magnify your view. So you can zoom in or zoom out. You do have a grid here. I recommend keeping the grid on. Some people get rid of the grid, but for now we'll just leave it right on. The Projects tab will take you to projects that Cricut has created. The Images tab will let you select new images out of Design Space, and we'll get into more detail about that in a future video. You can add text to your project here. You can do shapes, and it will insert the shape for you. You can also upload an SVG or a file of your own by just clicking on Upload, Browse, and find the file that you want to work on. So for example, the gift card holder that I made, I'm going to go ahead and bring that in. It works with the scalable vector graphics or the PNG. You can see them all up here. Depending on what kind of project you're doing, if you're doing it a print and cut, you would bring in a JPEG or a PNG. If you're doing a SVG where you want to cut all the different layers out and everything, that's what you would bring in as an SVG file. DXF is the same type of file as an SVG. It's used for Cricut and for Silhouette, or you can bring in a bitmap, sorry. So once you do that, you would just save and it will bring the image in. Once you do that, you just select the image that you want to work on. It puts a box around it. It also shows you down here that it's going to be inserted into your canvas. So you can exit out if you decide you don't want to bring that one in. And you can also select multiple images. And what it will do is bring both of them in at the same time onto your canvas. So you'll see it takes just a second depending on how big the files are. See, it brought them both in. I'm going to go ahead and hide this. I'm going to go ahead and delete that box. Okay, so we have this guy. I'm at 25%, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom into my 100% to show you how big the file is. And there you go. When it brings these in, you just move them over by selecting them. And when you bring them in, they are all grouped mostly. All I'm doing is holding my mouse and dragging these files up so I can see them at the top. So you want to ungroup whenever you want to move things around or work on just individual pieces. And as I go through each project, I will show you how you use each of these icons as well as the ones below, as well as the side, and all of these measurements and all this up top here in the toolbar. So we will get into all that as we go through each project. But I just wanted to show you a few things that you could get started with and understand how it works. When you bring a project in too, once you start moving things around, resizing, grouping, and doing all these wonderful fun things, you're going to want to save your project. So you'll hit the save button, call it whatever you like, and save it. So when you come back, it already has all of the changes that you've made to it. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. So we'll learn all about, why these things come in, why these little guys, why you need to take them out, ways that you can make it better, and more suited to your liking. There's much, much, much more to learn, but this is just a beginner's guide to show you how to bring in the file and get started in Design Space. So stay tuned for another episode of the next lecture that will learn more about the Cricut.